Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. You're tuned into the JMOR Tech Talk Show. That means that it's another Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our our second Friday, I should say, of August. It's August 8th, 2025, and you are watching the JMOR Tech Talk Show. First of all, a big welcome to everyone. If this is your first time with us, big welcome to you. If you're coming back, well, I want to say welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Really means a lot when you decide to tune into my content and make it be a viable part of your life to improve it. Thank you so very much for making that choice. And some good news, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be testing out our new equipment. Actually, we have a show we're doing later on. We're going to be testing our equipment out on that. And so next Friday, we'll be doing the JMOR Tech Talk Show on my brand new laptop. I've got a brand new laptop here. And it's really cool, very, very powerful. The sound on it's amazing. Not that that affects you guys, but it's really, really amazing. And I'll talk about a lot of that on the tech show and some of the gadgets I have with it. It is one of the highest powered AI laptops you can buy today from Lenovo. All right, guys, if you have not checked out BelieveMeAchieve.com, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check that out after the show, that is. By the way, I have my RO water. You'll see me or hear me slurping. Some water, nice ice cold water, and feel free to get some yourself, whether that's from the kitchen. Maybe you want something hot, something cold. I don't know if you want something hot right now, but you could be watching this program in the winter. Who knows? Maybe you want something sweet. Maybe you want something tart, or maybe you want something crunchy. I don't know. Whatever that is, feel free to get that. It could be nuts, could be something sweet, whatever. Grab that and head on back here to our show. Incidentally, today's show topic is a really good one. You ready for it? I know I am. Robot dogs, striking workers, and banned YouTube. Tech just got, how can I say, no pun intended, real. All right, guys, it's always getting real in the tech world. Every single week, we really do stir some stuff up. And I give you the truth about what's out there in technology. I'm not trying to sell you anything here on the show. I just want to give you the truth so you can make the right decisions in your life. So again, a big welcome to everyone to another powerful episode of the JMOR Tech Talk Show. And if you didn't know who I am, well, I'm John C. Morley. I'm a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, graduate student, passionate educator, and enthusiast of learning. And I bring you the biggest breakthroughs, the shakeups, and the shocks in the world of, yes, technology. This week, I'm diving into 14 stories that will leave you amazed, concerned, and maybe even a little inspired. So you're ready? Let's kick this off, everyone, and let's get started. All right. So a really interesting one is AI exports are getting blocked as billions are lost. Thousands of U.S. export licenses are frozen due to dysfunction in the Commerce Department, halting billions in AI chip shipments to China. This massive backlog is shaking, well, global tech markets and raising some serious questions about America's competitiveness. Yeah, that's a really, really interesting one that I know we want to dive, I should say, just a little bit deeper in. And I think it's something that scares some people, right? So thousands, not hundreds, thousands of U.S. export licenses applications were stalled due to the internal dysfunction of the Commerce Department's BIS, Bureau of Industry and Security, the BIS, leaving billions of dollars in shipments on the table, including high-profile AI chips to China in, well, in a word, limbo. Sources say the backlog is the worst in over 30 years. It was caused by staff resignations, lack of clear policy direction, micromanagement, and delays in rulemaking. Sounds like the government doesn't know how to take care of their workers. The slowdown has frustrated exporters, weakened global competitiveness, and it's signaled a deeper set of turmoil within an agency, critical to safeguarding national security while facilitating global trade. Commerce officials defend the chances and the changes that are being made as necessary for stronger enforcement, but the critics are saying the uncertainty is costing U.S. businesses a valuable percentage of market share. And, it always seems to get people excited. When it comes out of their pocket, right? That's when people start questioning, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? Until it actually affects their pocket, it could be more than a penny, right? It could be a lot. And so anytime it's more than something, people just what's happening, what's going on. And I think that's something interesting to understand. Um, People don't realize what's going on in life. Okay. They don't realize that. And the reason they don't realize it is because they get so wrapped up in, well, if it's a penny, it's a dollar, no big deal. But everybody has like a threshold. Even if you have billions of dollars, you don't want to lose. I don't even want to lose a penny, right? If it's something stupid or something that goes wrong, right? We know lots of companies that can do this to us. One is the credit card companies. Now, being in the industry for a long time, the one company now 32 years this December and owning a few other companies, we deal with credit card providers, right? It's a necessary evil, unfortunately. So what happens is these credit card companies have something called PCI compliance. And this is a little bit of a bonus. I didn't plan on talking about this. PCI compliance. What is it? Well, in a nutshell, it's payment card industry data security standard. And I got to tell you, it's a big, what can I say? It's a joke. It's a crucial set of security standards designed to protect sensitive credit card information, but it's not optional for businesses that handle credit card payments. And non-compliance can lead to a significant consequence, including hefty fines for maybe $100, $200 per month. And so the credit card industry and PCI thinks they're doing something, but really, it's a big money maker, right? And a lot of these people you talk to, they have no clue about what it is. If something's on your network and they can't do something, suddenly you fail. So it's a lot of fighting, and you have to do this scan once a year, the compliance and documents, and you have to answer the questions. If you don't do this, well, you're going to get hit with fines. And they keep amounting, like this fee, they call it non-compliance fee. And it can be anywhere from $50 to $100 or a few $100 a month, which can add up, right? And so the thing about this is that a lot of these things happening is you have to go in and you have to answer questions. Now, they've gotten better, I have to say this. You can log into some sites and you can just click on, if nothing's changed, just answer the new questions, if there are any new questions. Otherwise, you can, just move right through it. The other day, I had to recertify for one of the companies, and I certified in probably under a couple minutes. But you used to have to go through this laborious process of filling out the documents. And then if you missed one thing, it was just crazy, absolutely insane. So we will definitely keep you in the know about what's going on with the turmoil freezes, as we said, about thousands of export approvals. But this is just part of the game, right? I think government has to treat people right. Private industry has to treat people right. And we have to have the right processes in place. Speaking about this, AI clones versus voice actors. So voice actors in Germany are sounding the alarms as synthetic voices are threatening their industry. As studios now adopt AI, artists are calling for ethical standards and protection of craft honed over decades. This can be a problem, guys. So as I said, AI versus voice actors, the dubbing war begins, they call it, in the voice actor world, and they're speaking out as AI, they claim, is threatening to take over their quote-unquote dubbing booth. In Germany, a global hub for dubbing film and television, performers and studios are calling for regulatory action to protect jobs and preserve artistic quality immediately. With the synthetic voices advancing rapidly, Concerns are rising over job displacement, loss of authenticity, and the erosion of an entire craft honed over, well, decades. As tech companies push AI-generated voices into mainstream production, human voice talent is pushing back, demanding ethical standards, creative control, and yes, fair recognition in changing industry. The battle between real voices and digital cloning is heating up, and quite quickly, and the world is now watching for this. Our third story for the week is robots fight and play Mahjong. Let me say that again. Robots fight and play Mahjong. So, at China's World AI Conference, robots spar and boxing matches and dominate in Mahjong games, proving that AI isn't just smart, it's agile, it's strategic, and it's culturally aware. That's pretty cool, right? Did you ever think AI would be playing games? From sparring to Mahjong, robots rule China's AI conference. This was at the 2025 World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai, China. They showcased a fascinating blend of robotics innovation, from humanoid robots sparring in boxing matches to machines expertly playing Mahjong. 3 demonstrations highlight the rapid progress of AI-driven robots in both a physically agile and complex strategic thinking world. As China pushes the boundaries of robotics, the event underscored how AI is evolving beyond industrial uses into cultural and competitive arenas, capturing global attention and signaling new possibilities for the future of intelligent machines. So you might be asking, why do robots play games? It's not so they can get better at games. It's so that they can learn. So when you play games, well, you learn, right? When you do anything over and over again, you learn. I think that's a very important point that many people just don't realize. We play games. We're in this world to learn so we can be much, much better. And so when you think about this and you think about the fact that, there's always somebody trying to one up you, right? You have that. And then you have people out there, unfortunately, that decide they're just going to lie about something because if they do, they can make more money. And although this sounds like a great idea, especially in the AI world, it's going to quickly bite them in the rear because, well, when you're not ethical in anything, whether it's technology, AI, whether it's just being a human person in a relationship, well, that's going to come back, as karma always comes back to pay, whether it's positively or negative. So remember, whatever you dish out will boomerang back to you. Not right away, like in a traditional boomerang, but it will come back to you. And when that happens, you're going to wish that you took a different stance on where you're going. All right, guys. Here's our latest. Roof, roof, roof. Seriously. Robot dog beats all terrain. Fortunately, this one doesn't need to get fed a lot or walked a lot. China unveils the Lynx M20. It's a robotic dog that handles grass, sand, and forest with ease. This could revolutionize search and rescue military missions and mobility tech. Tech's really starting to really inch up there. So the new robotic dog conquers any terrain at the 2025 World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai, China. They unveiled the Lynx M20. Now, a lot of people have been asking me this, and it's a very good question. How much does the China robotics Lynx 20 cost? And I hope you guys are sitting down for this because this robot, it's the Deep Robotics Lynx M20. It's a wheel-legged robot designed for industrial applications in harsh environments. And they have set a price tag on this, and it's approximate. It could go up, would never go down. There's additional options like autonomous charging and advanced navigation systems, and they're going to cost a lot extra. But just to get the base robot. $18,000. Yeah. The ability for this robot, it's equipped with 96-line LiDAR for 360-degree awareness real-time mapping, positioning coordinates, and obstacle avoidance, even in darkness. And it even has an IP66 rating, which is great for dust, water resistance, and operates in temperatures ranging from negative 20 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees. So what is that in English? So what is negative 20 Celsius to Fahrenheit? So if we convert that to Fahrenheit, we are looking at negative 4 degrees. That's pretty cold. And it can operate up in as high as 55 degrees Celsius. So what is 55 degrees Celsius? A whopping 131 Fahrenheit. So this thing can take some real, let's say, unfriendly weather conditions or environment conditions. The payload capacity can carry 33 pounds of payload with a maximum load of 110 pounds. It can operate for 2.5 hours under a regular load and 3 hours without load on a single charge. It has a hot swappable battery, which enables continuous operation without shutdowns for recharging. Some sources suggest that the Lynx standard robot is priced, as we said, around $18,000, and the M20 is likely a premium version with an unannounced price. It could be double. However, other sources, including Deep Robotics, indicate that the Lynx M20 could be available for $17,000 or $18,000 for the basic model. So the question is, who's going to be the customer of this? A lot of industrial factories, maybe even first responder deployments in towns. So we can actually preserve lives. And, if we lose a robot is replaceable. A human is not. So I'm really impressed with, what they're doing here. And it was developed by Deep Robotics. And this is a versatile machine that showcased how AI-powered robotics are rapidly evolving in the tactile real-world challenges with agility and precision. The Lynx M20 is a glimpse into the future of robotics, blending innovation, adaptability for some very unique, diverse environments. We might see something like this in a plant, could be a nuclear plant. We could see it in another type of plant, checking pressure levels. Because again, the robot isn't actually susceptible to any kind of damage. This could be used in what we call clean rod factories. I'm not sure if you know what that is. So the medical world uses rods to sterilize, their, let's say, medical devices and consumables. And so these rods, are actually, they're dangerous, guys. They are, unfortunately, basically, they're nuclear. And they are supposed to knock off any kind of danger. So the medical field employs various methods for sterilization and medical devices and consumables, with what they call radiation sterilization being one important option. So this technique utilizes different types of radiation to destroy microorganisms, right? Sounds pretty cool, but there's some dangers. They have a cobalt 60 gamma ray. It's a radiotope that emits gamma rays, and these are rays that are used in panoramic irradiations where medical products sealed in their final packaging and are placed on conveyor systems and exposed to the radiation from a planar array of cobalt 60 rods or pencils. Mechanism is a gamma ray that penetrates the products, damaging the DNA of microorganisms and rendering them unable to reproduce. So we have the electron beam as an E-beam accelerator. And so electron beam accelerators produce high energy electrons. The electron beam is accelerated to near light speed and directed at the product on a conveyor system where the electrons penetrate and sterilize the devices. Like gamma radiation, E-beam radiation also damages the DNA of microorganisms, inactivating them permanently. We have X-ray technology. It's a high energy electron beam accelerator equipped with an X-ray converter system and can generate X-rays. So I think the thing that's been happening right now is these companies have been offering people, you don't have to have a degree or anything, and they're willing to have these people work in these facilities, but they have to sign pretty much a sentence that says if they get harmed or they get any type of illness, well, they can't go after the manufacturing company. So the manufacturing company knows it's bad. The people working there know it's bad, but they're willing to just shave off some years off their life. Could be 5, could be 10, could be 30, even more, just because they decided to basically abuse the public. So we're starting to use robots now that are not going to have any problem with that. A robot going in to change, let's say, rods or cones for any type of radiation system would not be affected by any type of radiation. So these are interesting things, and I learned a little about this, not just from today and from this week, but I met somebody a couple years ago. I was just talking to him at a conference, and I asked him what they do, and he told me he works for this medical company. I said, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." He said, "I work with these rods," and I wasn't really putting one and one together. And then I said, "Well," I said, "that's an interesting thing." He said, "Oh, it pays really great," and he told me the number and all that. And I said, "Oh," I said, "So that's a really great job." He says, "Well, not really." I said, "Well, sounds like you do really well there." He goes, "Yeah, but you know what I do?" I said, "No." He says, "I work with radioactive devices." And my heart just kind of sunk, and I was like, "What do you mean you work with them? You're in a medical facility." Well, we use um, radioactivity and radioisotopes to sterilize products, and then once that has happened, pretty much it's basically out of any radioactive pathway for quite a while. So this was a question that I had asked him. How long does it take for medical devices sent out to be free from, let's say, any type of um, radiation sterilization? And when they do this, the misconception is that medical devices is using radiation such as gamma radiation to electron beams and requiring a lengthy period free from radiation. So there's no residue. Both gamma and E beam sterilization systems do not leave behind any residual radioactivity or chemicals on the treated products. Safety standards. The sterilization process precisely controlled and validated according to the international standards like the ISO 1137 to ensure a high sterility assurance level without compromising product functionality. Now, notice they say product functionality. There's nothing in there about preserving your health. And again, they say there's no residue to dissipate any radioactive to decay. In a sense, medical devices, sterilization by radiation are ready for use immediately. So like seconds. So when he told me what he was doing, he says he really wants to quit soon. I said, "How long you been there?" He said, "I've been there for a couple of years." He said, "But each year I'm there," he said, "I'm probably taking a few years off my life." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, I literally go right in the rooms where the radon is." And I said, "Well, the nuclears." And I said, "Well, I'm sure you're protecting everything." He says, "Nope." He says, "We walk right into the rooms. You have gloves?" "Yeah." He says, "I have gloves." He says, "But to be honest with you," he says, "they go right through the gloves. So half the time I don't even wear the gloves." I was like, "Oh." And I said, "Well, have you, gone to the doctor?" He says, "No." He says, "I already know that it's taken a lot of years off my life, and I don't want to get really depressed. But," he says, "I get paid a lot of money, and I'm enjoying the life I have." And I was like, that's terrible that these companies are doing this. But they're making people sign a release so they can't come back and sue them, which I think should be unlawful. All right, our fifth story for today. AI saves kids from toxic air in Laos. All sensors are now protecting school children by monitoring the pollution levels in real time. It's a crucial innovation where over 100 kids die daily from toxic air. Now, this isn't a makeup. This is actually the truth, guys. So, as I said, the AI powers cleaner air in Laos schools. The AI technology is being deployed in Laos to monitor air quality and protect school children from harmful pollution. A critical step which is needed in the region where over 100 child deaths daily are linked to toxic air. Using real time data, this initiative aims to alert schools when pollution reaches dangerous levels, helping to safeguard young lives and promote healthier learning environments amid ongoing environmental challenges. Wow. So I think that might be eventually mandated, but it's not yet. But I'm glad to see they're taking those steps. And our sixth story for this evening is 5G farms are here. A Scottish breakthrough brings portable 5G to remote farms, enabling precision robotics and cutting pesticides use is the plan. This is a huge leap forward in the sustainable agriculture world. And so, with this Scottish partnership that developed a portable 5G network to tackle unreliable mobile signals in remote rural areas, it's empowering farmers to use advanced robotics and precision farming technologies. This innovative solution helps farmers save money and reduce pesticide usage, and it's supporting both their productivity and their environmental sustainability. So it looks like you don't need a lot of farm hands anymore because now we can do things robotically, even on the farm. Not too long ago, we talked about a technology that's been around for a few years, one that allows farmers to install a milking machine. And so the cow would basically come to the machine. It would scan the ID, which would basically be right near the ear. It would pick it up. And if the cow was, let's say, not there, beyond the maximum allowed times, it would automatically open the gate, come in, and all the preferences would be saved just for that cow, so the cow could be very, very comfortable. But not only did they do that, and you don't realize it, but they were using technology to make sure that the cow always was carrying. And so, that's the only time the cow can be having milk. So for them, it was very important that the cows always had cycles all the time, and that they were going to be having baby calves all the time, or they couldn't really make their money. These systems even check to see whether the first amount of milk is safe. If it isn't, it automatically funnels it off. So there's a system that literally checks the health level of the milk to make sure that the cow's milk is healthy. That's an amazing thing, guys. A really, really amazing thing. And supporting sustainability and, also the productivity of a farm is very important. Our seventh story. Under pressure from lawmakers, Delta denies AI fare scandal. Delta insists it doesn't use AI to price or gouge travelers. The airline claims its systems only reflect market trends, but privacy concerns, they still remain. And there's a lot of skeptics out there. And I have to tell you, I don't agree with them when they say that they don't use AI to raise their fares. I really disagree with that. And I'm sure other airlines do it as well. So Delta assures Congress there's been no AI price tickets. Delta Airlines is under fire from the U.S. lawmakers over concerns it could use AI to charge passengers based on personal data. But the airline is pushing back hard on this. And usually when you push back hard, I don't know about you, but it usually means you're guilty. Delta insists it has never and will never use AI to personalize ticket pricing, calling such tactics unacceptable. While senators warn of a future where AI sets fares based on what you're willing to pay, Delta says its AI tools only respond to market trends, not individual behavior. With Congress eyeing new legislation to ban surveillance pricing, the battle over AI privacy and airfare is just, starting to take off. And that could mean a big increase in prices, not just for Delta, but for many airlines, if this is something that they want to implement. It sounds like they could. It's more of that magical supply and demand and being able to charge based on certain data. Number 8, AI creates life-saving antivenom. This, when I heard this story, this kind of blew me out of the water. All right. Danish researchers have developed an AI-powered anti-venom that could save millions from deadly snake bites, especially in the rural regions where access to treatment is, well, let's say, rather limited. So AI versus the venom. The future of the snake bite survival. Scientists in Denmark have harnessed the power of artificial intelligence to develop a new kind of antivenom, potentially revolutionizing treatment for an estimate of 5.4 million people bitten by snakes globally. That's a high number each year. According to the WHO, the World Health Organization, the AI design solution could drastically improve response time and effectiveness, offering fresh hope in regions like traditional antivenom access, where it's limited, and as part of wider pushes in tech-driven healthcare innovation, from robotic caretakers to AI-powered medical imaging, this breakthrough underscores how machine learning is transforming medicine and potentially saving lives worldwide. My only question, guys, is where's the data going and who has access to it? Speaking more about planes, well, Boeing strike rocks the defense now. 3,200 Boeing defense workers in St. Louis now are on strike, despite what they say was a 40% raise offer. However, I recently was corrected today on TikTok when somebody said that it was a 20%. I don't know what the real truth is, but I thought it was interesting that somebody responded to a post where we said 40%. We said we never asked for 40, we asked for 20. So there's obviously some type of confusion there. The laborers' unrest could delay key fighter jet production for the U.S. military. I bet you didn't know that Boeing makes the planes for the U.S. military. That just sounds a little messy. So Boeing started striking this past Monday. Boeing's defense workers, as I said, in St. Louis, had made their plans to strike this past midnight on Monday after rejecting the company's latest contract offer, despite a proposed, they claim, 40% average wage increase in added benefits. But I was now told that it wasn't 40, it was 20, but yet the media has it down as 40. So how did it get misconstrued to 40 if it was really 20? The International Association of Machinists, the IAM, and AW, Aerospace Workers, IAM, represents 3,200 employees who build fighter jets and drones for the U.S. military. Says the deal failing to reflect their crucial role in national defense. Boeing already expanding its St. Louis facilities for the new F-47A Air Force fighter, has activated contingency plans, but the looming strike here, now it's happened, highlights growing labor tensions in the defense sector. I mean, I think you can't wait to the last moment to decide that we're going to take care of our people. Got to take care of them now, right? And number 10, guys, AI. Yes, AI now drafts soccer deals. John, what are you talking about? AI drafts soccer deals. This is one, when I first read this, I did not believe this. Cambridge United becomes the first football club to use AI for writing player contracts, eliminating legal costs and speeding up signings. A smart move, they claim, in the sports tech world. I think more people are going to do this too. So Cambridge basically taps into the AI world to seal player deals. Cambridge United FC is making football history by becoming the first club to use AI to draft and manage player contracts, aiming to slash legal costs and speed up the signing process. And this is ahead of the September 1st deadline that they originally said they were going to do. It's now in place now, over a month earlier. Partnering with local startup Genie AI, the club plans to automate player and commercial agreements, freeing up time, cutting expense, and reinvesting in talent and facilities. Club chief Alex Tunbridge calls it, quote unquote, a smart decision that keeps them ahead of the curve. While Genie AI CEO celebrates the homegrown partnership, the system rolls out this month, putting AI on the team sheet, or shall we say, on the mound or on the field. I think it's interesting when we can use AI. Again, my question is privacy. What data is going to be out there? What data is going to be shared? And how are they going to protect this data? But again, right now, it's just on the soccer field, but I think it could be on a lot more fields if this works out well. Well, our 11th story, Trump tariffs crash the tech world. The new tariffs are slamming Asia's tech giants, disrupting chip production and sending shockwaves through companies like Apple and NVIDIA. The whole global supply chain is feeling the heat, and I'd say they're starting to panic. So Trump's renewed tariffs, as I said, are shaking the industry's foundation. This is Asia's tech manufacturing boom, and once the region's economic powerhouse, tech hubs like Taiwan, India, and Vietnam now face steep levies, which they claim is up to 40%, as American firms like Apple and NVIDIA scramble to cope with the exploding costs. The ripple effects are massive. Electronic supply chains are choking, chip production is in crisis, and even e-commerce titans like Shine and Temu are reeling from collapsing of the tariff exemptions. While Trump claims he's fighting for U.S. jobs, the globalized web of tech production means both American companies and Asian economies are now paying the price. Ooh, that's just not very good. And this is definitely a problem, guys. The geopolitical of the world. Dumping in now to our 12th story, the UK starts to target, let's say, adult-related sites, according to Ofcom, launching probes into 34 adult websites to enforce new age checks. While some support child safety, others warn it's a privacy, nightmare and disaster. And VPN use is now spiking because people are trying to figure out how do we get around the system so that we can actually still get to our content. It's sad that people do that, and it's sad that companies have to get into a crackdown mode. 34 adult sites were probed. Ofcom's investigating 34 of them, run by 4 companies to determine if they're complying with the new UK age verification laws that was set out to protect children from adult content. Now, these formal probes target platforms for over 9 million users. Let me say that again, 9 million users, and follow early investigations into 4chan and other sites. And the new rules are part of the Online Safety Act that was passed not too long ago, requiring age checks across thousands of websites, including music platforms like Spotify. While some welcome the move as critical for child safety, critics argue it's overreach and it's a threat to privacy. With VPN downloads, as I said, starting to spike, to get around this, users are seeking to bypass the rules. Despite backlash and a 400,000 signature petition, the UK government says it has no plans to repeal the law. I get where they're going with it. I think it's good, but I think maybe they need to make sure that they don't just limit, but maybe they got to put some of these sites out of business. Unfortunately, guys, I hate to say that, but there's a lot of shady webmasters out there, and they'll do anything for a buck. Number 13, Pope Leo warns it's AI versus humanity. Pope Leo urges influencers and innovators to use tech compassionately. That's a word we don't hear in tech. And warns the world not to let AI compromise human dignity or connection. Let me say that again. So the Pope warns the world not to let AI compromise human dignity or connection. And I think that's happening because a lot of people just don't understand what AI can do. And so Pope Leo is sounding the alarm on AI, urging the world to protect human dignity as tech advances and accelerates. Speaking at the Vatican's first Mass for Catholic influencers, he called on creators to use their platforms for compassion, not division, and warned that artificial intelligence must serve humanity, not undermine it. Quote unquote, our voices must carry love, not ego, end quote. He declared as he rallied youth to build bridges online and guard against digital age that risks losing its soul. You never hear about using a computer with heart or using a computer, using technology with compassion. Those words never seem to have had a place before, but maybe they will now, and I think that might be the greatest thing in our world. Our last story for this evening is all about Australia. Australia is banning YouTube for kids. What are you talking about? In a bold move, Australia will now ban social media for kids under 16, including YouTube. The law prioritizes child safety over platform profits, and big tech, I'm sure you know, is not very happy. So Australia is moving this way to ban YouTube for kids under 16. It's a major, major shakeup. And it's a bold step. Australia is banning the children under 16 from using social media platforms, including YouTube, in a big sweeping law set to take effect this December of 2025. The move, which reverses an earlier promise to exempt YouTube, follows rising concern about harmful content and persuasive design features like infinite scroll. The government is pushing back against legal threats and tech lobbying, insisting the law protects children's well-being over platform profits. Violators could face fines of up to, you ready, guys? 32, not dollars, million. I didn't say thousand, I said million. As officials roll out age verification systems amid growing privacy concerns. My question is, what data are they going to use or potentially compromise? See, that's a big, big problem for me. So as we're thinking about AI, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm actually back in school getting my Master of Computer Science AI and then my PhD in that. I think a lot of people realize AI could be a threat. Other people realize that they're going to milk it for all they can because it's their gold or silver bullet. And the question, even in school now, it's rising a big issue. You can use ChatGPT and other chat systems to help you learn, but what you don't want to do is use ChatGPT or other AI systems to do your homework. You want to understand what the work is and why things are a certain way. I think that's a very, very big thing. And so the more we think about, AI, the more we think about ethical. And I think what the Pope has instituted is very, very priceless. I know he's going to get some pushback. I mean, not everybody's going to like you. I always said you can love me, like me, or hate me. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I told people this before. You have the right to do anything in your world, include being competitive, as long as you don't harm or hurt another person. I think that's a huge, huge thing. Is if you can learn how to respect other people, if you can learn how to respect other people, then you too have the power to make a difference, not only in your personal life, in your family, in your neighborhood, your entire town or your borough, your entire county, your entire voting district, right? Your entire ecosystem. That could be at work, that could be in volunteer, that could be at school, like I'm back in school. So we all have a capability of influencing other people. People that have been using AI more than others, like myself, they turn to us for advice. And I tell people AI is a good tool if you know how to use it correctly. That's an interesting thing. And we were talking about the robots before, right? So the Chinese robot that we're talking about prices out around 16,000, and the more advanced, larger H1 goes for 90,000. And this is all done by Deep Robotics links. But you can get that small one we were talking about for around 18,000, just $17,999 plus tax. But launching a robot that's all-terrain, when you think about an all-terrain vehicle, we know what that's about, right? But a robot that's all-terrain, I mean, that's pretty up there. So as I said, wild performance. I mean, this thing can do mountains, could do a lot of different things. And so it features a wheeled leg hybrid design, combining the wheels speed with legs agility, and powered by Deep Robotics' proprietary intelligent motion control algorithms, and achieves, well, a lot of success in doing that. So when we think about robots, right, or we think about our world, and we think about why something is a certain way, we could be talking about a robot arm. We could be talking about other type of AI and algorithms. And I think as more people get to understand what a robot is and what it isn't, I think that's going to get people on a different trajectory. If I asked you right now today, what AI is in use around you besides your computer? Maybe you have Siri, or maybe you have Alexa, you have some other voice assistant that uses AI. And I think, again, AI is a tool. So I think there needs to be more courses to explain to people how you use AI properly in the most respected fashion. And I know that sounds like something that is, I don't know, sounds like something that's like made up, but it is the truth, guys. It's the truth. And if we understand just one thing about AI, I think we can understand quite a bit. Okay. And by quite a bit, I mean one thing. I mean that we have so much potential in our life, but we have to remember one thing. We have to remember that whatever we're doing is for the greater good of all concerned. I think a lot of people in technology, they get a little bit lost. And the reason they get lost is because they think that AI is going to be like this magic bullet. And AI has a lot of potential, I'll be honest with you. But also, if you don't know how to use it properly, AI can, let's say, really mess you up. We've seen situations where AI has been used to exploit people, right? And I think that's a big problem for a lot of people. I think if you understand what that is, I think you'll use AI in a more ethical fashion, right? A more ethical fashion. And by being in a more ethical fashion, I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it's got to be about you. It's got to be about making change. But sometimes when we try to make change too quickly, you know what happens? We fall off. And we fall off because people don't realize what we've done. And maybe you're saying to me, John, this is something that's pretty interesting. But then you're also probably saying to me, John, like, I don't get this for some reason. And the reason you don't get it is very, very simple. It's because you're thinking about AI like it was technology from 20 years ago. All right. It's never going to be like that. AI is something that can morph, something that can change. And that, I believe, is something that I hope will get people excited. Okay. And that excitement can get people to build things. I mean, it could do so many great things, right? And that's really a big thing, is to get what you need and to be cognizant of the technology out there. So AI is going to keep evolving, guys, every single day. All right. It's going to keep evolving. And if AI keeps evolving, then I feel that you will be glad that you hung around. Maybe you're on a trip. And maybe while you're on that trip, maybe you're now like, well, I don't know what I have to do. Maybe the perspective that you had yesterday is different than the perspective you had a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. Because our mindsets change, guys. Our mindsets change. And that's something that most people don't get, is that what we have focused on for maybe our whole life up until now might change when we suddenly get curious about something. So again, everyone that chooses to use AI is fantastic, but know your purpose. And if you don't know what AI can do, well, there's nothing wrong with just exploring it. But you know when you're using AI for something that's not good, when your intent is to harm or hurt another person. You know when AI is going to be a problem when it comes into an ethical issue, right? AI is great at doing research. AI is not perfect. Let's get that right through the get-go. AI is not perfect. Artificial intelligence. It's been around for a while, but we're starting to morph into a very interesting time. You guys all know about the password caper that's coming up, and pretty soon we need to come up with a whole bunch of new algorithms so that computers and technology are going to remain safe. But did you ever think there'd be a robot dog, right? You probably remember Spot. I know I remember Spot from Boston. I think it was Boston Dynamics. We don't hear a lot about Spot as the robot from Boston Dynamics. And that robot is a pretty amazing robot, okay? It's a four-legged, agile, mobile robot known for its ability to navigate various terrains, including stairs and obstacles. And it can be used for inspections, data collection, and even handle hazardous situations. So we have something like this, guys, right here in the United States of America. They can use things like this on a battlefield, and I think this is a big thing. So Spot has mobility. It uses multiple sensors, including stereo cameras, to perceive its environment and avoid obstacles. Stereo cameras mean basically if we have two eyes, well, the robot has two eyes. Think of a camera as an eye, and basically you're getting vision. Now, the robot's not going to see the way we see, but it is going to get data and be able to perceive that. So Spot is used in various industries like remote inspections, data collection, and incident response. Spot can be used to investigate hazardous situations, potentially preventing injuries or issues to human personnel. Boston Dynamics continues, guys, to keep expanding the world of robotics. But what I want to say is when we start to come up with a premise that a robot can do something and it can save a human's life, by that I mean that when somebody gets harmed or could potentially be in a life-threatening situation, when we send robots in, okay, that are very capable, very knowledgeable, first of all, we don't risk the robot being harmed, but the robot can operate on pure precision every single time. A human can't do that. Maybe the human gets stressed. Maybe the human is not used to this kind of condition or the heat or the cold, right? Robots just operate. A -4, -5, right? Or 5 degrees or 4 degrees, all the way up to 131 degrees. That's pretty amazing. Now, you might be asking, and it's a very good question to ask, what is, the heat range for Spot from Boston Dynamics? And I think if we were to ask that question today, you guys would be very surprised because it goes from -20 to 25. -20 to 25. Right? -20, excuse me, -20, pardon me, -20 to 55, excuse me. -20 to 55. The ambient temperature for it is about 35 that's Celsius. But that's something I believe that's pretty important, right? If we convert 33 Celsius and 55 Celsius, we probably will get a number that'll blow you away. Okay? It can operate in the 91.4 degree Fahrenheit range all the way up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. That means it makes it perfect for different things like rescue missions. And because it's bigger, drones are small, right? But because this robot is bigger, because it can operate on so many different planes, that can give us a world where not only are we going to be able to stay safe, be able to help more people, and never have a sick day called in by the robot. That's pretty incredible. Maybe you want a robot to come in and check levels of a lake or something, or maybe you wanted to figure out something for you. It can do that. So a robot is a computer, okay? But it has different inputs and outputs. Now, we know an input is like your keyboard, your mouse, etc., right? Outputs are like your speakers, your monitor. So imagine that, and imagining that a robot has things like sensors, okay? And the sensors to the robot are, in a sense, what's going to have it traverse to other levels, right? I think some people, when you think about robotics and you think about AI, they have a natural cohesion together. But what I want to tell you is that so many people I know will want to learn AI, not for the reason that you and I probably want to learn AI, which is to help other people. And there's millions of applications for AI today. There's millions of them. But what I want to share with you is that I think AI should be licensed. Because if AI is licensed, and I don't mean that I have to pay money for it, but that people are using AI for something in business, they want to keep track of it. They want to know that everything's going to work well. I think that's a very, very big fear of some people. That they don't want to touch AI because they don't know what's going to happen or where something's going to go. What if I said to you tomorrow, you could do anything you want with AI, but because of your curiosities, you might venture into areas that, let's say, may not be appropriate. They may be harming somebody, and we don't want to do that, guys. We do not want to do that. So thinking about technology, whether it's collecting data, whether it's trying to share information back, or it's trying to help us in a way that we didn't even know was capable, I think that's the real magic of taking the kind of the fusion, if you will, of AI and robotics. And what else robots have? Robotics have motors, right? So a robot has motors, and so there's sensors, and so the motors activate when certain things happen. So if, like, for example, they call the procedure walk, it would walk, and it would use different sensors to know where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Remember, the JMOR Tech Talk Show is every Friday, and our new Inspiration for Your Life starts every Saturday and ends on Friday. And by the way, guys, we have a show every single day for Inspiration for Your Life. Go check it out, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks, and be well, everyone.